Try not to slurp. May not. I didn't. Hey, good news. I'll wait till all you guys get on here. Some good news this morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Where we at? Come on. I've got 8:02. Somebody's sleeping in. Oh, Suzanne's up. Good morning. Crystal's up. Good morning. Chris McKenzie's up. Good morning. Uh, Lisa and Sarah. Lisa Batter. Penny. Rosie. Okay, they're going too fast now. Uh, got some in Hatari. Good morning. Dana. Laurie Johnson. Good morning, girls and ladies and men. And Ronnie. Yeah, and Ronnie. Ronnie's up and going this morning. Peggy Irwin. Good morning. Uh, good morning, Sue. Michelle. Michelle's back with us today. Patty. There's Steve. Uh, Carol Cadacy. They go so fast. Bob back in the day. Dot. Sue. Uh, good news. In fact, he sent me a picture. Uh, Will appreciates the prayers. He appreciated the prayers. And he's going home today. And this is going to be his nurse. She's going to come and take care of the bandages for him. I said, I hope she's ugly. And he said, well, this is her. He's feeling pretty good, he said. He thinks everything's going to be good now. And so prayers work. Also, good news for old Ronnie. He's trying to quit smoking. He's taking that medication. And he'd take his pill, then try to smoke a cigarette, and it'd make him sick. And sick in his stomach. And told me that they increased the dosage yesterday. But he said he actually didn't sleep much last night. But he feels pretty good. He hadn't had a cigarette since yesterday. And hopefully he'll make it, you know. I smoked. No, Ron, it's not my girlfriend, it's his nurse, right? See, Ronnie's he's already feeling better and wants to start trouble. That's Will's nurse. I'm so happy. I can just see her now changing his bandage. I got a good story about old Will, but I ain't gonna tell it till he's here because I'm not one to talk behind somebody's back. I'm not gonna tell something if they can't defend themselves, and there's no defense, but still. I ever get to know his wife and his son. We'll probably hear all kinds of stuff about him. Like old Ronnie, I get so many stories about him from Sweet Jimmy. So, Jimmy, friends with him, and they run around together and stuff. And he knows all Ronnie's secrets. And actually, Jimmy sent me a picture, or a picture was sent. I take it back. I'm not going to say Jimmy. Might not have been Jimmy. But they're fixing. Every time Ronnie comes over, he wants to use the bathroom. And Jimmy's trying to work out something so he don't have to be rude to him. And that's a nice thing. Yeah, I may not have it. I hate that I don't have it though. Boy, it was really a nice thing that he was doing for him, If I find it, we'll show it to you. It's going to be a nice invention to have. But anyway, let's just kind of move on. A little man last night slept out with the goats. I think he enjoyed it. Uh, I made a video out there last night after I put him in his crate. I got a bigger crate for him. I had one, but I had him on the little one inside of the building. I moved him out there with a bigger crate with good straw bedding. And I made a video. I think it comes out tomorrow, I think. I think it's a Thursday video of him getting ready for bed. And he beds down. And the other little guys, his little brother and one of the other ones, come over, one on each side of the crate, lay down next to him. I thought that was so sweet. All curled up right together. And when I checked on this morning, I hadn't got his bottle ready. Yeah, we'll do it later. Checked on him, he's fine. Still curled up there. And he saw me, stood up, stretched. You know how they do when they stretch. I said, no, shh, go back to sleep, go back to sleep. Good morning, Reba. Atari and Ronnie, I forget what Ronnie said. What medicine he's taking, I think. Good morning, Cynthia over in the Netherlands. Good morning. Ricardo, good morning. Peggy and Connie. Someone sneaked in the bathroom just to say hello. That must have been Ricardo. He's at work. You know, they say, oh, Ricardo, he's regular on that, going to the bathroom. In the mornings when he's at work, he jumps up at 8 o'clock and takes off to the bathroom. That's pretty neat, I think. It was a good day yesterday. I got so many comments about my cucumbers. Yes, they've come up. They're looking good. They're even better today. Oh yeah, here it is. Oops. This is what Jimmy's going to have for Ronnie. So he ain't got to go in his house and mess up his bathroom with that bidet. Is that what you call it? And he said Ronnie wanted he'd give him a water hose, but he ain't going to his house. Good morning, Carla Kay. Christina Hill, good morning, sweetie. Yeah, I love seeing you guys chatting back and forth. Yeah, if you want to talk to Ricardo, you have to talk to him quick. He's in the bathroom. He can't stay long. They'll be calling for him. Or they'll be coming to the door and saying, Ricardo, you okay? Stop, I'm talking. I can't stand nosy guineas. They will come over beside the porch and get on to me for talking. Try not to slurp. I'm trying not to slurp. I never noticed that before. Then after that lady said that, I said, maybe I do. So I go back and look, and I do. I slurp. Not real bad, but, you know, the old timers. Yeah, not like me. I remember my old grandpa, even my grandmother, all of them, even, you know, my grandmother from my dad's side, too. They pour their coffee sometimes in a saucer and drink out of the saucer. I don't know. Not always. A lot of times, my grandpa said every cup of coffee. Sometimes go ahead and pour in that saucer. That saucer, I don't know. Y'all ever see that? My grandpa could make the strongest coffee you ever drank in your life. He had the old wood stove and the old with it. You go over and drink coffee at night sometimes. G and I, when we first got out of the Marines, and talk and tell stories and stuff. And have this old coffee can. You know, they used to make coffee in cans, you know. And you pour a bunch of old grounds in it, you know, and you pour water on top of it and sit on the old stove. And it sat there, and after a while, you see it boiling. You let it boil for a while, you get your cup, take that little can, and you get it by the edge, you know, and pour it into your cup. And them old grounds just, you know. And you start drinking it, you get down to the bottom, Yeah, it was like camp coffee. It'd put hair on your chest or it'd take it off, one or the other. But you get down to the bottom, there'd be that much grounds in the bottom. That last swallow, you had to be careful. You choked on them. Uh, black Black Rifle, he said, it's good coffee. Good coffee. I probably never really drank a bad coffee if it's just coffee. Now, I did stop in Louisiana once, and I've told y'all that story. I'm traveling through at a truck stop. I went in and, not knowing, being from Texas, not knowing about Louisiana coffee. Yeah, I don't like flavored coffees. I sure don't. That don't make no sense. Yeah, I handed the lady my thermos. I get a thermos of coffee, please. She says, "You want a whole thermos?" I said, "Yes, ma'am." She poured it up. I paid her, went out the door, got in the car, and I take off. I'm down the road a few miles and driving in one hand, trying to pour a cup of coffee in the other, and it smelled a little strong. That's okay. Yeah, I take strong coffee. I took a swallow of that stuff. And what, licorice or something like that, something similar to that. And strong, I didn't drink no more. I couldn't drink it. Too tough for me. And then I've told later that's why they drink little small cups. It didn't take much of that. Yeah, it sure would. I couldn't ever drink that thermos. But I did drink so much coffee on the way home, driving straight through. On my trip one time from California, it was a little over 24 hours. I drove from L.A. to Plum Grove, and I was rolling. But I drank so much, I'd only stop to get gas and coffee, maybe a hamburger, and I eat that on the road. And I got home one evening, and I was so wired up with all that coffee. I mean, my mom and them knew I was coming. They had supper cooked, pinto beans, potato salad, biscuits, And we all had supper, sit around and talk for a while. They all go to bed, about 10. They're all in bed. I'm sitting there, my eyes this big around. Ain't no sleeping for me. I go upstairs, my old room, and pottered around up there. Back then, we only had one TV, and that went off at 10 o'clock. Well, wasn't no such thing when I'm watching TV. So I put my old record player on. Y'all remember the old record players? I think it was the big records, what were they? 33? Call them a 33, whatever. And it had several on there, and it dropped down. And I sat there and listened to them records half the doggone night. Never could hardly go to sleep. Just toss and turn, open my eyes wide open. And I think it was about 4 o'clock in the morning before I finally dozed off. Then I slept all day long. Yeah. Good morning, Deborah. I hope your son's doing good, sweetie. Got a message. If I can find it real quick here, guys. Come on. From Krista. Crystal is asking for her prayers for her. I'm not going to read you the whole thing, but I'm going to tell you a little bit about her situation, okay? She really needs prayer. God knows who she is. Her name's Krista. They have custody of their grandchildren. The son passed away. And the daughter-in-law can't keep them. And there's situations. And anyway, she has developed a disease that they haven't found really a cure for. And she's losing lots of weight. And husband's working lots of hours. And they got these 2 young girls. I think one is 13 and One is 9. Need to pray for her. Pray for her situation, her family, guys. Uh, they have lots of problems, lots of problems. So yeah, pray for Krista. I got that, and that's the first time I'd ever, I think, talked to her, and I think she'd seen maybe our channel and people prayed for people. So let's do it, okay? Uh, yeah, pray for everybody in need. You know, so many people out there in need. You know, uh, and sometimes they don't tell people, you know, what a need they have. You know, so they feel it's personal, or whatever. But you know, just God knows their needs. Uh, just like Will, you know, Will uh, is a good man. You know, I pick on him, and probably in self-defense I pick on him. Him and Ronnie, both of them are good men. Not a lot of demand for those kind of folks, but they're good men. No, seriously. But God's blessed him. You know, he had his first surgery and it wasn't completely right, and had to go back and correct some things. But he said he feels like he's on that road now of getting out of stuff. And with that nurse, I guarantee you, with that nurse, he'll get well quick. You ain't gonna want her coming to visit too often. Guineas need to go away. Feel like I'm in the zoo. Okay, so I haven't watched any news really to speak of, so I don't know what all might be going on to talk about. As far as the farm goes, Ben came yesterday, and I'm not feeding hay in the back, but I did want to put another roll of hay out for Ivan, and maybe one more later on, because Ivan eats hay all the time. He's a hay eater, but he's grazing too, and him and Gidget both. And I don't want to let them out in that big pasture because I'm afraid of that donkey over there on that fence line. Kind of afraid of him. He's probably a good donkey, I don't know. But I'm afraid Ivan will get up there and want to fight with him or something through the fence and get hurt, get cut up on the wire, whatever. Or the donkey gets out, and I don't get getting bred by any of them. So I keep them in for the time being. Someone said Jake's going to have them neutered and move that one up to Honey Hill, but that's fine. You know, not bother me. I can keep Ivan in. But anyway, regardless, Lester said go down to his barn and get a roll of hay. So I told Ben, I said take the tractor and go down and get a roll of hay. Don't try to get one if stacked up high. You got to get one off the bottom because my tractor don't lift up that high. Well, I guess I'm not knowing exactly how Lester knew it at the time, but he called me immediately. He said, Dad, you better go down and check real quick. He said, I don't know if that tractor will fit. That hay's on that lean-to side. I don't know if it'll fit the cab. I thought, oh, Lord. Ben, tear the cab off. So I jump on my mule and I take off down there, and Lester already got a hold of Ben. Thank goodness. And Ben, there was some old loose hay piled up right in the entrance, and he had a pitchfork, moved it out of the way so it wouldn't make the tractor ride up. Smart thinking. And so he got it all moved out of the way. I said, okay, back up here and I'll make sure. Well, it cleared about so much. It cleared good, and when he got a roll of hay, I thank Lester for that. And he come back up, and we put it out for Ivan. So Ivan's got a fresh roll of hay, him and the goats, and Gidget. The little goats, the babies, I was here all day yesterday, so I let them out with their mamas in that little pasture. It's 3-acre pasture. And my little man went with them. I don't know what he's thinking. I'm out there working, and I'm watching him, and he's going with his little friends. So they all going down the hill behind their mamas, and he's trailing along with them. He's bouncing, you know how goats do, bounce sideways and stuff. And they found a spot they could cross where that water stands, that rainwater. They went across, and they all grazing, the mamas and all that. But I watched them for a while. Went down on my mule, parked at a distance. I knew if I got up close, he would come running to me. And I watched them, and in a little while, they all laid down around one of those trees there in the shade. Their mamas just kept grazing. So I come on back home. Later, I go out to call them in. And I didn't call Ivan. I didn't call the goats. I said, Owen! Owen! Not expected a whole lot, because he knows his name, but he's just little, you know. And all of a sudden, across that clearing, here come all the goats, and little Owen, about halfway in the middle of the pack, just bouncing, coming to his pawpaw. And all of them come on up under the roll. Hey, he comes straight on in that gate right to where I was at, and give him his bottle. But yeah, he's gonna do well, I think, out there. And later on, he gets a little bit older, we'll neuter him, so you know, kids can play with him and not worry about him getting that billy goat mentality, you know, and smelling bad and all that kind of stuff, you know. Them old billy goats, they're nasty, but them lady goats like it. You know, it's probably what, you know, some people attract people like Ronnie attracted. You know, I guess his wife was nasty Ronnie, you know. And some people, you know, no, he got a sweet wife. But Ronnie's kind of like a billy goat, though. It will, maybe. But anyway, billy goats can be really nasty. And, well, I'll tell you, well, I ain't going to tell you all the stuff they do, because it's vulgar. They're vulgar. And then they get out there and they make all them noises, and old girl goes, ooh, listen to him, you know. They're comical sometimes. You ain't got to smell him. And that doggone, and they'll always want to come up and love on you, and they smell you. They bang. I can't go in the house after I've been out there. Don't come in here like that. Coda Bear spent the night. I want y'all to watch that video of her and her daddy. It's on tomorrow. He's working afternoons this week, so he brought her late. And he's trying to leave, but he never gets in such a hurry he doesn't do what they want. You know, he's really a good dad. And I'm telling her, I said, you need to go, buddy, you'll be late. Oh, I'll be all right. And she wants to do this. She wants to bump. Then she wants to, all kinds of weird stuff she's wanting to do. Wants a little hug, then a big hug, then a tickle, then a big tickle. And I'm videoing him sitting here, and she's asking him all these things she wanted. It took him 30 minutes to get off his porch. But she loves him, and he loves her. It's really sweet. He's telling us about Jill put him in T-ball. And Carly kind of likes T-ball, but they sent us a little clip one night of them playing T-ball, you know, a little video. The kids are all out there with little gloves watching. Carly's out there doing her little dance move. Just doing her dance move. And then another video, they're in the stands watching, you know. And the little kids got coached and stuff. Out of the clear blue sky, little Coda Bear, her team, you know, the ones that are not on, you know, on the field out there, you know, are in the dugout. She comes out of the dugout and just takes off across that baseball field. The coaches are chasing her, and he's kind of a heavyset guy, and he can't catch her. She's just running and laughing. I think Dusty had to get down out of the stands to go help catch her. But he said they don't understand, but when they do understand, they'll like it. Because she loves to go. She just gets there and wants to play. But and it showed her one day she hit the ball off that little stand they had, that little T-ball on. You know, she finally missed it a couple times. Finally hit it, and they told her to run. She runs down to first base, and there's a lady there at first base, you know, I guess, and coach and tell them what to do next. And she's just a jabber to her. You just tell her what all she had done. Like, yeah. They're a lot of fun. They're a lot of fun. Yeah, she said the first year is always the best. Yeah, I think it is too. Uh, but sadly, there's always a downside to stuff like this. Sometimes the parents are harder to deal with than the children. And we watched it during Dan and them in Little League football stuff. Sometimes they got some crazy parents out there. Sometimes want to bow up and you don't want to argue, fight, or whatever, over what the kids are doing, It's crazy. Uh, yeah, parents can be the worst. You're right, Michelle. Parents can be the worst. And they're sure not setting a good example for their child. Uh, I forget the little boy's name. Really cute, but Little League, he was running down the sideline with the football. He took off with the football. Some little team. We was all sitting there watching. His mama was running on the sideline with him, right side by side. Run, Johnny. I don't know if his name's Johnny. Run, Johnny, run. Don't stop, Johnny. Don't look back. Run, Johnny. She run the whole way with him. The guys going. And it was fun to watch. But sometimes the parents get a little bit crazy. Today, I took Ben out yesterday. I got some big projects coming up. Big. It's gonna take several, not just days, probably a few weeks for Ben to do it because he only works 2 days a week. And I told him I want you to come and put at least five men, good hours in for me, and I pay you for them. And yesterday I paid him and bought us dinner. Sent him to the Chinese place, get dinner. I'm a good employer. Yeah. Anyway, our old back patio is got to be taken down and redone. We got some boards that are rotten. Over the years, leaked, and we want to get that redone. That old barn that I worry about. It was old when I got it. It was built back in the 40s or something like that. It was an old chicken barn. And the man didn't want it, so we tore it down, and I brought some of it here and built another barn. Old material, old wood, old tin. And it's got to a point now, every time we have a storm, parts of it wants to come off. Hurricane storms. And I don't want my cows being under it. And we've braced it several times and propped it and braced it and everything else. I don't want my old cows to be under it when these storms come. And it come down on them. So I told Ben what we're going to do is take it down. I'm not going to try to keep patching it up. We take it down, clean it all up out there, then we can build a loafing shed. I only got a few cows anyway, and a loafing shed will be all I need. So that's going to be a big project. And I said, you can work out there 2 days a week on it, or 1 day a week, and then whatever we need around here, you can help out around here. But, the days you're out there, I need you to put in 5 good steady hours. Don't work 30 minutes and sit down on your phone for an hour and then get up and work 30 more minutes. I need you to really put in some time, because it's not going to be a quick process. And I'll help. I said, I'll be there, but there's some things I can't do. You knock it down and I'll pile it up. I stack it up and get a big pile of lumber, we'll burn it. The metal we'll put in a pile, we'll put in the middle bin, kind of get that whole hillside cleaned off. Dan's supposed to try to move that concrete. We're going to move that little building out there. It used to be a goat house. We're going to drag it down there by the fire pile, and eventually we're going to burn that thing, Get a good rainy day. We ain't got to worry about, fires getting out. We'll set that thing on fire. And then when it burns down, we'll take the metal and throw it over in the bin. And there's a trailer I need to pull away from there too. And that old salt You never noticed it. There's no salt mineral trough frame there. That's the salt. If you're not familiar, uh, salt will eat metal up quick. You know, when I got it, it was used, and we had to put another bottom in it. But the frame, it had already salt on it at one time or another, and it just keeps eating through it, eating through it. So it's got down to a point now we have to put another bottom in it or just get rid of it. And the framework supports under it are starting to come through, uh, rust out. So we're just going to take it down, I think, and put it in the metal bin. So here's some projects we're trying to do. Morning, Veronica. Tammy Frey, Eva. Steve and Susan got a little cat, and they let me name it. And I named him Tiger. He's a little yellow, look like that Tony the Tiger on that old Exxon commercial. So I named him Tiger, and he's been a tiger. And now he's got a bottle cap as his special toy. If he loses it, they got to stop whatever they're doing and go look for it. They got to help him find it. You got to have his toy. Yesterday, I took a picture. I was in there watching TV, and I looked down, and I could hear a little Tiki, G's little dog, growling at somebody. He's growling. And I said, I wonder what. I looked down at him, and I don't know. You can't find that when you want to find it. Maybe I got it right here. He's down inside the little toy box. She keeps all of his toys in it. He's down inside it. Every time one dog walk by like they're gonna get something to chew on or play with, he'd growl at them. A little old bitty dog. Oh, Buster, Buster, please. Don't hurt people, son. I think it must be Dan going to work, or it's Jake going out. Maybe it's Jake. Probably Jake. Dan's probably already gone. Jake's doing real well on his house. I haven't been up there, and she told us that Jake, we'll all come up one day for a work day. You just let us know when you want us to come. I want to do it myself. I like doing it, and I think he's taking some help a couple of times with him, but he's knocking it out. I think he's putting in insulation now. I think that's what they're doing. They asked Ben, did Ben want to go do some insulation? Ben, in his mind, was thinking there's probably asbestos in that place. Now, I ain't going, where's the asbestos? I said, Ben, I don't know about the asbestos, but I know insulation nowadays is made out of fiberglass. You ain't got to worry about it. It's itchy. It just itches. He didn't go. He's wanted to work here yesterday. Now, I needed him yesterday. I could have waited, though. It wasn't a big deal to me. Sharon Sight, Connie Hill. I try to catch these names as they come by. I get to talking, I miss them. And I was telling Ronnie, I said, I don't know if there's any other channel that the people all, communicate back and forth with each other. So Ronnie said, yeah, he says sometimes they keep chatting after you go off. I said, well, that's good. That's good. I didn't know it stayed on once I turned mine off, but if it does, that's good. I could just open this thing up and say good morning, everybody, and just get out of the way. Get out of the way. We have Steve was telling us about his dogs and his cats. We have 10 cats, I believe it's 10. I have to count every time I go out there. Tadpole, good morning. Be careful of that name. Old Ronnie loves tadpoles. Uh, that's a cute name though. Uh, oh, okay. Rebecca said they talk sometimes 30 minutes when Lester's lives are over. That's awesome. I didn't know you could do that. See, I thought that's really neat though. Uh, Brian said it stays on just for a little while. Okay. Yeah, Carmen, you're right. Old families, older days, and maybe still some, they had lots of kids, and they all worked. And the more you got of kids or more mouths to feed, it's a little bit less, but you got to work extra hard to keep it going. But I think a lot of times in the old days, people had big families. I'm not going to say just for work, but they may have been, but they could help out. And then plus, there's uh, birth control. Maybe they had no birth control. I don't know. I wasn't back there. I wasn't back there, so I don't know how it worked. But they don't need to know. Don't need to know. Okay, I told you, yard, you got yard work for the next 3 weeks. My yard, we planted that ryegrass, guys, back in the fall. And guineas do not eat the seed. They may eat a few. They sure didn't eat enough to hurt it. And G didn't want to cut it for the longest, but it's getting tall. I said, G, we got to cut it, baby. It's so pretty and everything else was dead. And around here, it was everything dead, wintertime. But I said, well, we got to cut it, at least cut it back. So I'd mow it. I've mowed it now twice, and it's still growing. Now, the native grass is coming up too. And, but that stuff has grown. But it's kept the yards real pretty and green all winter. I love that stuff. Pretty expensive, ryegrass, but it's really nice. Couldn't afford it for the whole pasture. If you could, your cows would probably have good grazing all winter, but this stuff's $50-something a bag. It don't go far either. Don't go far. Suzanne's mom had 5 girls, 2 boys. My dad come from, I think, about 6 kids. And when his dad passed away, he was 16. He left the farm and went to work on a ranch. The man was a friend of his dad. They were friends, and at the funeral, he told my grandmother, that said, if my dad's name was Jerome, says, Jerome you want Jerome to work, help out, you send him down to my ranch, I'll put him on. And my dad went down there and he worked, started out, cleaning stables and just chores, bringing firewood in, whatever. Then he started working with the horses, to bring the horses in the evenings and stuff, and riders come in, he'd rub them down, water them, feed them, and all that kind of stuff. And he got to really developed a kind of a relationship with these horses, and has a pen full of wild ones where it hadn't been broke yet. And in his spare time, he'd go out and start working with those horses, and broke every one of them. Just hush, Jack. And G sounds just like him. I'm serious. She can do that sound just like him. Sitting on the porch yesterday, and Jack started that stuff, and Dusty's sitting here, and my Lord, and all of a sudden G goes, ah! Yeah, she does. There you go, Dusty. Yeah, poor PawPaw. But then he got a promotion. That's all he did was the horses. And then he started working cattle with the cowboys. But his main goal or job was breaking horses when they bring them in. Called the Hargrave Ranch. Uh, the Hargrave Ranch. And I never knew that old fella because he passed away. Oh, before I was born, I guess. But his son, I knew him, and he drove a Cadillac. Cadillac. Uh, Here comes the garbage truck, so it may get a little loud too. But he drove a Cadillac, and there was this little tavern, pub, what you gonna call it, beer joint, whatever you want to call it, down on the road, not too far from his ranch. And you drive by there, and that Cadillac be sitting out front with square hay bales on top of it. I have two up on top, one on the truck, taking them somewhere to some cows in a pen somewhere. A Cadillac. Then and that Cadillac wore out, he'd get another one. But he carried hay or where he wanted to go with him. Throw a saddle up on the hood and take off. You think, it's a Cadillac, dude. It's a Cadillac. But guess he had the money. But yeah, that old ranch is not there. You know, like everything else around this part of the country, they started selling it off in pieces. You know, got down a big subdivision, bought part of it, and built a big subdivision in behind it, and over the years, and then they donated a bunch to the Hargrave High School. It's called Hargrave High School after the Hargraves. That's built on part of the old ranch. And they had big cattle pens over on probably about 12 miles from the main house where they had big cattle pens, and they would herd those cows there and put them on trains when my dad worked down there. Pretty good big operation. But all this, it's all gone. I think the old ranch house is still there. All of them are done died out. And I guess some heirs, somebody owns it. I don't think nobody lives in it. It's still there. Last time I was by there. Okay. Jack will be quiet and that truck will leave and we'll be able to. Now if you're down in the woods at night, walked under a tree and that thing did that, it might scare you. I was overseas. There are some places sound like it at night. Whoa, what in the world? Or hear stuff slithering in the grass, you know it's a snake. Might have been a big snake too. I love hearing the sounds of the animals. I do too. I love old Jack being they roost up here now all the time. And they'll be out there in a minute. There he done come down out of his tree now. But they're waiting for breakfast. And I'll go out and feed them. But they stay around here all the time, man. I like that. And I love the sounds. I love the sounds. Ivan and him out there, he gets going, that new white donkey, whatever his name is, starts this. He does it all the time. And Ivan will hear him and he'll answer him and kind of get puffed up like, you know, you ain't supposed to be here. Yeah, Jack's loud and he is mouthy. He's out there on top of my delivery sign right now, propped up. He just come out of a tree. I don't know if you can see him or not. You see him out there behind my tractor on that. I'm trying to see if I can get up on that sign. Let's see if that truck makes him get down. There, yeah, he hopped down. Yeah, he talking it this morning. It's kind of almost every morning like that, and then off and on during the day all day long. And at night, I went by it last night going down and checked the mail on the mule, me and Buster and Woody Dog. And they're already on their roost in a tree. As I drove by, he starts that stuff. Now, I don't guess the female makes a noise. I've never heard her. Somebody said there was a bird watcher. I think that would be fun myself, seriously, if you had the time. Uh, I had a neighbor, he's passed now, him and his wife both were bird watchers. And they would walk down, they lived about half a mile up the road, and they'd walk down, and he had this big book he carried with him in a little satchel. He had this pole, a little cane, not a cane, but like a walking pole. I have one too. But he'd carved his, had all the, maybe not all of it, had a bunch of books of the Bible in it, like John and Genesis, and just carved all up and down it. Really neat. I think his son got it when he passed. But anyway, he'd come along, him and her walking, and they'd go back in the back, had the binoculars, and watching. He'd come by and stop sometime for coffee, and he'd start telling me the different birds he'd seen. And fascinating. And I love listening to him talk about the birds, and I get out there and I'm looking, I see, okay, I know a bluebird and a red bird, or a cardinal, y'all call them, blue jays, house wrens, stuff like that, blackbirds, cowbirds. I know all these kind of just common birds, but he would talk about some kind of warbler. What? A what? And thrush or whatever. Yeah, and he'd show me the pictures in the book. Yeah, we saw one here and one here, that. It's amazing. I had no idea all them kind of birds back there. Yeah, and yeah, I know crows. I know crows. The old fella I told y'all passed away up in Alabama. Old fella, younger than I. Stop, boys. Y'all stop, okay? He could sound like an owl. We was at City Hall meeting one night after everybody left. We was all standing around the truck talking. And we hear this owl way off. Hoo, 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 hoo. How they do. And he started making that sound. It sounded like an owl. I mean, just like an owl. And I think G's up. All the dogs are barking now. Y'all stirred everybody up. Stop. And that owl would get closer and closer and closer. And it wasn't long. He landed in a tree right there at City Hall. And we all just fascinated. Dan can sound like an owl pretty good. I don't know if Dan can call one up or not. But I've seen people. It got to be a sport. I never did do it and didn't see the point in it because I don't have a problem with crows. They get a crow caller. I never went with them, but I heard them talk about it at work on weekend stuff, and set up a crow caller, and then get out away from it there with their shotguns and stuff, and start calling these crows to come, and they try to shoot them. And I thought, what's the purpose? My dad taught us you don't shoot nothing unless you can eat it, If you shoot something, you got to eat it. Except for a snake. We have to eat no snakes or stuff like that. But we didn't just shoot stuff just to shoot it. We hunted rabbits, we hunted squirrels, and we'd coon hunt. And my dad eat coons. Hey, come here, get up here and say hello to everybody. Here, little birdie, Being a bad girl, birdie. Being a bad girl, want to get dirty. Dirty birdie. Oh. Yeah, she put them all out and closed the door. Hey, Tiki. Hey, Bandito. I'm out here with all of them now. I think crows are very protective. Hawks are deathly afraid of crows. And crows come in and eat chicken feed sometime out there. Doves do too. Cardinals do too. And I'll look out the back door, every a crow out there pecking around, But funny thing about a crow is, they'll let you know if something. Hey, Woody. Woody went in the house and got locked in, looking out the window. Woody dog. Can y'all see him looking in the Oh, Woody, Woody, Woody. But he'll be worn out. And you got to be, wait, come in for. But uh, crows will let you know if something's moving around in the woods. There'll be something moving. Your crows come flying by. Funny thing about a crow, they always have a lookout. I don't know if you ever noticed that. If there's some out eating on the ground, there'll be one in a tree somewhere watching. And you're not going to slip up on that dude. You're not going to slip up on him. Uh, any kind of movement. If he gives that a warning, they're gone, just like that. Uh, they always got to watch, a lookout. But hawks are afraid of them. And that's why black chickens don't have to worry about hawks as much, because a crow, a hawk flying around, you see that black chicken, to him it may be a crow. He ain't gonna mess with that crow. So yeah, Kathy, Ronnie's suffering. Mockingbird fight a crow. A lot of birds, and yeah, mockingbirds will fight other stuff like that, messing with them too. My mom and dad always had what they called what they call them birds. It'll come to me later. They had these birdhouses. Martins, yeah, purple martins or whatever. They had this big birdhouse with these purple martins in it, and out by the chicken yard. It's about 12 foot up on a pole. It had several colonies in it. Hawks give them a hard time. My mom had white chickens, and they easily spotted, I guess, whatever. And they'd fly down and try to catch one, and them martins would all come up at them, and it'd fly off. So maybe a lot of different kind of birds, at least in a group, can give a hawk a hard time. But in some places, hawks or even eagles can take small animals, especially an eagle could. Oh, Dan, okay, the pet squirrel. I love pet squirrels. And before I close off, I'm going to tell you a quick story. Yeah, I got a story. When I was a boy, I've had pet squirrels several times in my life. But when I was a boy, someone had given me this little squirrel, little bitty guy, and I fed him on a bottle. I can't remember who gave him to me. And our front porch is a screened porch, and that's where he lived. And he jumped from here, screen to screen, and had a little box in there, go into. And he'd come in the house and just play, They had to make sure the cats wasn't in the house, because the cats didn't like him. And but he'd come in. Well, my sister got a brand new bedroom suit. We never had bedroom suits, like, everything matched. Well, she got one. She was about, I don't know, 14 or something like that. I was 10 or 12, whatever. And she got this bedroom suit. It really had little sliding doors in the headboard, real thin little wood. Got a real thin paneling, I guess. And that little squirrel got closed up in her room one day. I guess we was at school, and he got accidentally closed in there. My fault, probably. He was in the house to start with. But whatever, he chewed on her bedroom, her bed headboard, up where you could see it. You know, the little door slide? He like chewed in my hole. We could make him a little house, I guess. She come home and she seen that, and she went berserk, went nuts. Cried, pitched a fit, hated my squirrel. I forget his name. Well, there was revenge. She had revenge coming. And one day, she was angry. I think she did it on purpose. She said she didn't, but she let him out. Outside. Big free world to him. And he went up a tree. He'd come down that tree, but he wouldn't come close enough for you to get a hold of him. He'd come down and maybe take a piece of bread or something out of your hand, but he wouldn't let you grab him. And he lived in them trees for, I guess, a year or so, but never could catch him again. So he wasn't that much of a pet, but when he was in the house, you could pet. He'd get up on your shoulder, sit there, and you could feed him off his shoulder, dig around your hair. I had hair then, really cute little guy. Cuz cut logs, for a living, and they'd cut a tree down. Sometimes have squirrel nest in, have squirrels, and he's raised so many, and his son's raised a bunch of them. And one day he called me and says, "You want some baby squirrels?" He said, "I don't want no more right now." And I said, "Yeah." He said, "I got 3 out of one nest." And they was about so long, they didn't have hair yet. And he'd put them roll them up in a hat, and so they wouldn't get cold, and put them in his truck at work. When he got off work, he brought them to me. And we took a little eyedropper, fed them. They grew and they grew. Put them in a big bird cage. And they would eat peanuts. Got to where they was eating peanuts, and they ate a lot of peanuts. When they got bigger, we let them go, and that's fine. Roberta's World says, "I like snakes, they're honest." Well, sorry. I don't like snakes, but that's okay. We can still be friends. Don't bring no snake here. Lester had snakes, pet snakes. Don't bring them to my house. Dustin loves to catch snakes. I said, "Dustin, don't bring them in my house. You want to catch one out there and get bit, son? I hate it, but that's you. I don't want him in my house. I don't want him around these children. I don't want him around my dogs." I don't like snakes. The worst thing about snakes, and I've told y'all this before, is Lester had one that got out of his aquarium, whatever he had in the backseat of his car, bringing home from work or whatever, kept it at work, in his car, and he couldn't find the snake. Thought he got out of the car. So he done lost his snake, Thought when he opened the door, something snake got out. Didn't know it was out of the cage. But the snake had went up underneath the dash, wrapped all around through that stuff, and died. And Lester searched the car. Nice car. And finally started smelling something. So he couldn't get his hands too big to get up in there. And I think Dan tried, and they knew the snake was up in there. So they got poor old Lou. Poor Lou had small hands. Get up in that seat and reach up in there and get hold of that snake and start pulling him out of there. A dead snake. Poor Lou. They got him out. I don't know if the car ever smelled good again, but anyway, they got the snake out. All right, guys, we're about to hit that hour long, and I don't want to keep you guys. I haven't been able to read all these things going by trying to talk to, and snakes will keep rodents away, but so will my cats, and I can pet them. That's the way I am. Some folks like snakes. They have pet snakes. I don't want to touch a snake. I have, but I don't like them. Yeah, Lou, I don't know. I don't think G would have done it. G just said, "You can get rid of that car if you want to." I ain't getting my hand around on that snake. But Lou did. She got down, crawled underneath that dash, and she pulled, and she got him out. Lou's not afraid of stuff like with Dan. Dan hears a noise at night. Well, he ain't grab his gun and say, "Lou, go see what it is." I'm behind you, Lou. All right. She's very brave. I'd have never done it. She's a trooper, that's true. Uh, Dust was talking the other day. And in fact, Tina was laughing about it. Uh, During really hot weather, we don't have cockroaches. We've never had cockroaches. Uh, Out here, outdoors, even out around the shop, the more wood roaches are about this long, and they fly. They'll fly. And in hot weather, they try to come in your house. And you be sitting there watching TV and like a bird, as though you got to get up and catch him and kill him and get him out of the house. Old Dust hates. Nothing scares Dustin. He'll catch a snake, poison snake. He ain't scared. A roach or a spider can scare him to death. Now spiders, it's different. They bite. And they can make you sick. Maybe even kill you if the right one bit you. But a roach is kill him. Dust living upstairs, come home, staying upstairs. After she got out of the Navy for a while, and one flew through there one night, landed on him. And it sounded like a little girl screaming like somebody's killing her or something. And he come running through that whole room up there, come down the stairs running, screaming the whole time. What's wrong? What's wrong? There's a roach up there. Go up there and kill him and throw him out. I ain't touching him. Oh, yeah, he's scared of that stuff. And Tina was laughing at him the other day for being scared of that kind of stuff and not snakes and stuff. So everybody has their own thing, right? Guys, I've enjoyed just sitting there chatting with you. I'm not really scared of spiders as much, but after I saw Debbie and Walter come and brought the tractor, and she showed you and I the scar where she had to have surgery where that recluse bit her. Oh, it was horrible. And showed us pictures of it. It looked like a boil or something on her side, this big around. They had to cut all that out. A little recluse bit her. And in the hospital for a while, all that stuff. She got bit on the face one time by a spider. I don't know what kind it was. And her whole face, well, they put her in a hospital and had a drain tube draining that stuff out. Yeah, bad stuff. Lizards, their tail will come off if you're not careful. We used to catch lizards growing up. Lizards would be all everywhere. You still see some lizards around here. If they get here on the porch, the cats are going to get them. So, bird feeders, Dana Kay's got a bird feeder, and all kinds of birds come here. Yeah, they will. They sure will. I love it. I don't have a bird feeder up. We used to have one right here in this tree, but and birds be out there all day long. But the problem was when the seed would fall, then the guineas would come and start scratching. There'd be a bald spot in the grass there where the guineas were trying to get the bird seed that would drop from that feeder, so we took it down. But birds eat with my chickens. I always throw extra out, and there'd be little bird chicken feed and stuff all out across there all day long, and there's birds coming all day long to eat. Somebody had a tarantula. I'm gonna cut this off, guys. Get out of here. Get in and see what G's got planned for the day. I've never seen a tarantula except for at the zoo, in a cage or glass in real life. But I don't want to see one either. They ugly. They ugly. And I love you guys, and I'll see you back here on Friday. Maybe Will be with us, and that new nurse he's getting. I hope she's not too rough on him. Kendalene, you have a great day. Cynthia, you too. Joyce, all you guys have a great day. Have we seen? I keep looking for for Vera. I haven't seen Vera's name pop up. Y'all have seen her or not? Uh, Karen, I've seen her name. Sweet lady. Uh, okay, Vera was here. All right. I didn't get to see her when she come by. I was looking the other way or something. Anyway, guys, I always try to look for the names I see each day or each week or in my comments. And sometimes I see uh, new names, and I always want to, if you are new, we want to welcome you. These guys, you'll find they can be the sweetest people you'll ever meet in your life. You can make friends with them. So many of them have made friends with each other, and long after I've done turned this off, they still chatting. Either, friends, Facebook or whatever. They've all made friends. It's a good way to meet new people and get new friends. And but you have to be careful because there's people like Ronnie out there that can not lift you up but pull you down. Just joking, Ronnie. I love you, buddy. Hang on, but not smoking. You hang on. You'll feel better. I love you guys. Y'all take care. I gotta go. Buster. You don't say good now? Say bye. Buster's in his chair. I love you guys. Y'all take care.